July 31st, 2025. Georgia's housing market plunges into chaos. Sales collapse by 21% in a single week, mortgage applications plummet, and Atlanta's median home prices nosedive to their lowest in years. The governor scrambles as the entire state's real estate movement freezes overnight. How could a booming market grind to a halt with no warning? The answers lie deeper than anyone expected. Buyers vanished almost overnight. In just 7 days, Georgia's closed home sales dropped from 7,200 to 5,700, a 21% fall that wiped out months of steady activity. Mortgage lenders felt the shock at the same time. The Mortgage Bankers Association's weekly index showed applications down 14% from the same period last year. Agents watched as deals unraveled and showings dried up. Title companies reported a surge in cancellations, while pending contracts sat untouched, waiting for signatures that never came. Across the state, the pipeline of new mortgages slowed to a trickle. Even seasoned brokers struggled to recall a week when so many buyers simply walked away. The entire real estate transaction chain stalled at a threshold that had seemed unthinkable just days before. For Georgia's housing market, the freeze wasn't a gradual chill. It was an abrupt halt, measured in lost deals and empty closing rooms. Atlanta's median home price now stands at $397,000, down 9% from last year. Sellers who once expected bidding wars are facing a very different reality. Statewide, inventory has climbed to 57,500 active listings, a 10% jump in just 12 months. Homes are sitting longer too. The average property now spends 48 days on the market before finding a buyer, up from just over a month the previous summer. Agents describe rows of for sale signs that linger well past their usual shelf life. Price reductions are no longer rare. They're becoming routine. The market's rhythm has slowed to a crawl, with more homes available but fewer willing to move. Even as the number of listings grows, buyers hesitate, waiting for clarity or better terms. The result is a standoff. Supply outpaces demand, and movement freezes along with expectations. At precisely 11:48 Eastern Daylight Time, the first failed electronic recording triggered alarms inside Fulton County's real estate office. The transaction, logged through the Simplifile platform, stalled without warning. No confirmation, no error message, just an indefinite processing wheel. Minutes earlier, incident records show Simplifile's vendor systems began reporting outages at 11:42, with the disruption stretching until 1:01 p.m. Lenders watching their dashboards saw error rates spike. By noon, nearly 1 in 4, 23%, reported failed submissions or missing acknowledgments. The problem was not isolated. Within the hour, closing agents across Atlanta flagged delays, and county recorders in neighboring jurisdictions issued internal advisories about unexpected downtime. On the back end, lender support lines lit up with urgent calls as transactions stacked up in digital limbo. The outage's official window, 79 minutes, would later be dissected by IT teams and risk officers. But for those in the chain, the freeze began with that silent stall at 11:48. Between 12:15 and 2:05 Eastern Daylight Time, Georgia's statewide MLS platform went dark. For 110 minutes, agents and brokers found themselves locked out of the system that tracks every pending deal and new listing. During that window, 530 pending home sales failed to close, each one a transaction left stranded, buyers and sellers waiting for answers. Withdrawal notices surged. 550 listings were pulled from the market, often with little warning. County filing offices logged 3,212 delayed property records, creating a backlog that would take days to clear. The disruption rippled outward, stalling not just new deals, but also title transfers and mortgage approvals. Agents described a cascade of automated error messages, inboxes flooded with alerts, and clients demanding updates they couldn't provide. The usual hum of digital paperwork fell silent, replaced by uncertainty and mounting frustration. Across Georgia, the numbers told a simple story. Transactions halted, confidence shaken, and the backlog growing by the hour. At 1500 UTC, the GOES 16 satellite registered a KP index of 7, indicating a strong geomagnetic disturbance. Minutes later, at 1504 UTC, GOES 16 logged an X 1.1 class solar flare, one of the most intense of the year. The DEIST index dropped sharply to minus 180 nanoteslas by 1515 UTC, confirming a rapid shift in the Earth's magnetic field. During the same window, GPS satellite vehicle number 62, known as SVN62, began reporting signal degradation at 1505 UTC. The anomaly persisted for 14 minutes, with navigational accuracy dropping well outside normal parameters. Official NavCen advisories flagged the event, noting timing errors on the L1 frequency. All these measurements converged in real time, creating a rare overlap between space-based telemetry and terrestrial disruption. John Martin, CEO of Georgia Realtors, described the July freeze as unprecedented, with over 500 transactions stalled in a single day. Dr. Melissa Jordan from NOA pointed to the rare alignment of space weather events, noting measurable error rates during the storm's peak. Dr. Thomas Lee at the Atlanta Fed reported a 14% drop in mortgage applications that week. In response, the governor's office launched a digital infrastructure audit task force, and lawmakers filed House Bill 2173 to require quarterly disaster drills and annual vendor resilience reports. On July 31st, 2025, Georgia's housing market saw closed sales drop by 21% in a single week, while the Atlanta median price fell to $397,000, down 9% year over year. As transaction systems failed between 11:42 and 14:05 Eastern Daylight Time, more than 500 pending deals collapsed, and over 3,200 filings were delayed, with digital logs confirming the exact outage windows. Satellite data from GOES 16 and GPS SVN62 documented a KP7 geomagnetic storm and an X 1.1 solar flare within minutes of these outages. Yet experts, as cited in reports dated August 2nd and 3rd, maintain that a direct technological cause remains unproven. While the state launched a task force and filed House Bill 2173 to prevent future disruptions, full findings are still pending. The documentary reveals a cascade of economic and operational failures, but the final trigger, whether cosmic or coincidental, has yet to be fully verified. Today, the evidence shows that the stability of Georgia's housing market is closely tied to both digital infrastructure and forces far beyond state lines.